Hi. So this is a demo of chat priming with Claude Code. So as I'm going to get started, this is going to take a while. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit copy and paste. And while it's running, I'm going to explain a little bit about what it is that I just did. So as you can see, pasting text takes a while. Great. So it's going to get started. Um, okay. So what is this prompt that I just pasted in? And what is all this stuff? And why should I start with this when you're working with Claude Code? So let's explain as it's getting to work. Claude Code, is an agent, and if you're familiar with it, you'll see that Claude has to look through your code base to find relevant files and understand, what it is that it needs to do. Um, so basically, what I just did is I primed it with a lot of information about my code base and the task at hand before it needs to get started. So, it's searching around, it's breaking down the task, and it's using the information that I gave it. So, what did I give it? Well, I before I started this task, I went through Repo Prompt and I found the files that are relevant to my task. And one of them is this workspace view model. I've got some file tree code, and my task is to add an exit button here to Repo Prompt so that you can easily exit the workspace without going through this drop down menu down here. Okay, so what does that do? Okay, what did we do overall? All right, let's explain a little bit. So there's a lot of stuff in Repo Prompt, and looking at all of this, it might be overwhelming for you at the start. But let's explain a little bit about what each of these things are. So in Repo Prompt, we have the file tree, which is a really basic primitive that gives a language model an overview of all of the files in your directory, and this can be automated to fit within a certain amount of tokens. Okay. Now we've got the code maps. Now code maps are nice because they are a streamlined representation of your files. They basically only include functions and definitions, imports, and all that stuff. So it gives LLMs a higher level understanding of files rather than just like a complete um, chunk of the file, which is a lot of tokens. So when you're working with agents, token use is very essential. You want to really compress it down. So you don't want to give too much context because the LM is going to fill up the context window by searching and reading and calling tools. Okay, so what I added here with the code map mode is that I set it to selected. And when I set this to selected, it means that all of the files that I have selected will only have their code map representation included. So when I hit copy at the beginning and I scroll all the way up, you can see these are the code maps and the file tree for the files that I had selected. Okay, great. So that's what I included there. So the difference, as you can see, goes down from 57K tokens down to 12K tokens. So that saves us quite a lot for the initial prompt. Now the final piece here is this MCP role prompt. And what this does is it basically primes Claude Code to use Repo Prompts tools from the MCP server, which is a new feature we shipped recently. And you can include this with Claude Code or with Cursor or with lots of other tools that support MCP servers. As you can see, it's making active tool calls for reading and editing files, and these tools are quite a bit faster than Claude's built-in tools. So this whole task, it went through, it was able to kind of figure out all the information needed. It knew exactly what files to touch because I kind of helped it and spoon fed it. So I take a lot of the guesswork out of Claude Code's work. Whereas if I had just written this prompt at the start, it would have had to read a lot more about everything. And it can't actually do builds, so we'll stop it there. So I just completed the task. And I can review the diff, but I've run this kind of thing before and it worked perfectly the first time. So we can just trust that. So that's the kind of tour of it. There's another role prompt which I can get into another time. The pair programmer, what that one will do is it'll allow you to use the built-in chat in Repo Prompt to kind of handle edits if you want like O3 to be doing the edits and you want Claude just to be a driver. So that's a really cool mode as well. I'll make another video about that. But for now, there's the tour. So you're able to use Repo Prompt, copy your prompts, all the context that Repo Prompt provides can be pasted into Claude Code, and it really bootstraps the conversation to get a task done much more quickly. And you saw we didn't have any subtasks spawned by Claude to do a lot of navigation. So it took a couple minutes to do the time I was explaining this video, and the task was complete. So if you've got a Repo Prompt installed and you want to give it a try, please do let me know what you think. I think this chat priming is a really good way to work with agents because, a lot of it is discovery and we want to take that away from them as much as possible, especially if you know what the task entails. So thanks for your time, and hopefully that answers some questions about what these new prompts are for.